Hey Bryce, it's Dr. Scott. So I have some feedback for you on your SA2 draft. The things that I'm looking at are your thesis statement, your ability to use details to support what you're saying about the murals, to support your thesis statement. Also organization and transitions. So like having a reason why you're locating ideas in the location that you have them, and then source integration. Also looking at an MLA format, but integrating images and things like that. But I'm not going to spend any time really on that. This draft, it's pretty short. I know you struggled a little bit with this assignment. I think right now, kind of going back to the drawing board with thesis statement, because I'm seeing the hints of an argument, but the thing that I'm not seeing right now is like, so if a thesis statement does something like this, like the X and Y mural show blank about Portsmouth through the use of, I see color, I also see like facial expressions and actions of people depicted in the murals. But right now, what the essay is lacking is this. It shows what are they trying to say about Portsmouth with these two murals? It seems like you're kind of saying like we had this shitty thing happen, and then we had this other mural where good things were happening, and there's not enough of an argument to that. Also, the paragraphs right now you have them set up by the murals. Like you have the flood mural, and then later on you have the Chillicothe Street mural. I think what's going to work much better to get it, it's a little messier, but it's messier in the sense that you have more to explain and to write about, is like if you have a paragraph that's focusing on color. Like there's a message that these two murals are trying to get across about the town, and one way they get that message across is through the use of color. Another way is through facial expressions or actions. And it can be other things as well. Like there's a lot that's going on in those murals. You picked two really good ones. How are they trying to get a message across? You have some ideas about that. I see color. I see this here in places. But what are they being used for? That is the question you really need to answer moving forward. That's going to be the thing that kind of connects the paragraph. So without that, there's not much. I mean, you can keep writing and describing the murals, but it's going to be just summary. You're not going to really have an argument there, and you need an argument about the murals in order to do well on this assignment. So right now, the thesis statement is kind of missing. I didn't see use of sources. You've got some pretty decent detail in places, but it's not really kind of supporting anything at this point. I think there's places for even more detail, kind of get in there and talk about color, and talk about, you do a better job with facial expressions and that kind of stuff. But when you say the vibrant, bright colors, you need to get in there and describe them. Like, what are those bright colors that are being used there? Dark gray and white. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But there's shading that's used in different ways in that mural, and there's some parts of the mural that are lighter and darker than others. So there's things to talk about there. All that kind of needs to come after figuring out this. What is the message here? What is the thesis statement? And it doesn't have to be a pretty one for a draft, but it should kind of hint at where the paper's going. Once you get that figured out, once you're able to kind of get paragraphs that are focusing on things like color, facial expressions, actions of people in the mural, then there's a conversation to be had about how you're going to sequence your ideas. So like, why begin with a paragraph about color and then facial expression? There needs to be a reason why you're locating paragraphs in the place that you have them. So right now I'd say thesis statement, that's job one. Figuring out what is an argument, kind of going back to the drawing board with that. The second step is to figure out what are your individual paragraphs going to be about. I think you have a start here with some ideas, and then kind of getting detail into those paragraphs, and then figuring out how you're going to kind of sequence your ideas. You also need sources in here, but you have some ideas that I think you can build upon. If you got questions, reach out to me. Let me know. Be happy to help you out. A trip to the writing center may not be a bad idea either. Okay. So that's it for now, Bryce. I will talk to you soon.